Welcome to Sparrow Vision with your host, Dr. William Sparrow.
Thank you. I am your host, Dr. Sparrow. This is where we play music videos, movie reviews, anything we can to sit back, relax, and have a good time. I have another paranormal story I'd like to tell you. My grandfather swears up and down this is a true story. It happened to him. Every time he would tell it, nothing would ever change from start to finish. I've asked him several times, Grandpa, did that really happen? And he would say, oh yeah, it did. While he was on his way to prom, the weather was so bad. Storming, lightning, couldn't see anything in front of you. He was on this lonely country road with no lights on it. Only the light from his headlights would be shown. He saw something on the side of the road. As he got closer and closer, he realized it was a woman. So he pulled over and asked her, "Are you okay?" As she bent over to look down inside the car, he said,
Whoa.
like somebody actually stopped. And so he introduced himself, and she said her name was Rachel. And he said, "Can I give you a ride anywhere?" He said, "Well, I'm on my way to prom." He said, "That's funny, so am I. Where's your date?" She goes, "I don't have a date." He said, "Neither do I. Can we go to prom together?" And she said, "That would be nice." When he got out to open up the car door for her, put her inside, when he got back inside, he said the temperature dropped so bad that nothing he could do could get him warm. No matter how high he turned the heat up, he couldn't get warm. And he looked over at her, and she looked like she was just fine. But like any gentleman, he took his coat off and gave it to her. When they got to the school, they could hear the music outside. And it was so nice. And he was so excited to go inside with this beautiful woman he had just met. And as they got ready, she goes, "Well, why don't we just stay out here? We can dance underneath the stars." And he's like, "You know what? That's kind of romantic. So let's do that." So they did. They danced, and they danced to every song. People would walk by. Some would giggle. Some would laugh. Some would just shake their head. He didn't know why. He figured it was just because they were outside dancing instead of going inside. As the night got later and later, she said, "I'm sorry, but I got to be heading home." So he took her home. As he got out to open up the car door and walk her to the door, she said, "No, that's okay. I'm fine. My mom wouldn't like me having a strange man walking me to the door." And he said, "Well, I really don't like leaving you with, without knowing anything else about you." She said, "No, that's okay." So he respected her wishes. He got in his car and drove home. The next day he realized he forgot his coat. So he was excited. He goes, "Yeah, I get to go and see Rachel again and talk to her." When he got to the house, he rang the doorbell, and the lady said, "Can I help you?" He says, "Yeah, I'm here to see Rachel." She goes, "Son, I don't appreciate that." He says, "What do you mean?" She said, "Rachel's been dead for 10 years. He says, "That's impossible. I just took her to the prom last night." And she said, "This is not funny. Her and her boyfriend died on a car wreck on the way to prom 10 years ago." And he said, "That can't be." She goes, "Look, I'm not lying to you. Her grave is at the top of the hill underneath that big oak tree. If you don't believe me, walk up the hill." So as he started walking up the hill, and he got to thinking, I wish that she's lying, but she didn't seem like the type of woman that would lie to me. And the more he would get closer and closer, the wind started blowing, and blowing hard, blowing like he's never had before. And he finally got to the top of the hill, and he's looking down at the headstone, and it had Rachel's name on it with the day that she lived, the day she passed. And on top of the grave was his coat, all folded up very neatly. And he cried. He cried and cried. As he looked at that coat, he got to thinking, I can't take my coat back. I'm going to leave it here for Rachel in case she gets cold again. So he told her that he had the best time at the prom with her. I wish I'd known you when you were alive. And then he slowly walked back down the hill, got into his car, and drove home. And every time my grandpa would tell us this story, I would always ask him, did it really happen? And grandpa would always say, yeah, it happened. Like I said, he would never change the story from start to finish. The end. I hope you like that story as much as I love telling it. If you do, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share it around. If you have a paranormal story, I would love to hear from you. You can text me, or you can leave a comment at the end of this video. You can even call me at 765-388-4672. We can share the story, and if you want, we can even post it, but we don't have to. You don't even have to give your name if you don't want to. I would just love to hear from you. Until next time.